All right, thanks, Kyle. Jonathan, good to see you. Um, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Mitchell, the Stacks Foundation. I've got Jonathan here with some special news we're going to chat through, specifically signals and some of the strong signals in the Bitcoin ecosystem, what they're telling us. I think this is perfect coming right after Manib and Laura's session, given a lot of what they talked about routes back to data. But before we get into all of that, Jonathan, could you introduce yourself? I know you're not just here, but kind of everywhere in the ecosystem for maybe those very few people that don't know you. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you, Mitchell. It's a pleasure to be with you today. So I'm Jonathan Sadlowe. I am co-founder and general partner at Gossamer Capital. Since 2021, Gossamer has been the most active VC in the Stacks ecosystem and one of the first funds to develop a Bitcoin layers investment thesis. We've had the great privilege of backing incredible teams like Alex, Arcadico, Stacking DAO, Valar, NeoSwap, Xverse, just to name a few. Prior to starting Gossamer, I was chief marketing officer of Spacious, a venture-backed startup that took restaurants that were closed for breakfast and lunch and turned it into co-working space. We sold that business to WeWork in 2019. And then I was an executive at Google Cloud, helped launch products like TensorFlow, Google's machine learning platform. So I'm passionate about building great technologies, great startups that bring transformative solutions to the market.
Yeah, we're lucky to have you in the ecosystem, and I would love to have you chat a little bit about that thesis real quick before, just to prime people for the rest of the thing that we're going to talk about today and get to that special news.
Yeah, so Gossamer's thesis around Bitcoin layers, we really established that around the time of Stacks mainnet when we really understood that there's no replacing the security and the strength and the foundation and the market cap of Bitcoin. And we knew that technologies would be built on top of that, scaling solutions would be built on top of that, just as we were seeing on other chains. But what you can't reproduce is the security and the decentralization of Bitcoin. And so our thesis was to quickly get in as we understood stacks and clarity and smart contracts that were coming to Bitcoin. We decided to focus very heavily in the stacks ecosystem. And then over time, as that matured, the wider Bitcoin ecosystem as a whole. And that continues to be our focus today.
Yeah, well, it's clear you're all in, and I think today, if that's not clear, it's going to get even more clear. I wanted to tee you up to talk about something that I've had a hard time sitting on as a secret here, and little clue in your background here, but I'm just going to turn it over to you. I know you drop the news here for us.
Thank you very much. And before I jump in, I just want to give a big shout out to the team who's been working tireless to get this project off the ground. We've got Russ, Bad, Chris, Sean, Ali. Incredible work, everybody. All right. Thank you, Mitchell. Yeah, so I'm incredibly excited to announce the launch of Signal21. And this is the beta launch of our product. We describe Signal21 as the premier blockchain data and intelligence platform of the Bitcoin economy. And so what we're doing is we're bringing data from the Bitcoin layer 1, layer 2s, and premier Bitcoin dApps all into one place so that investors and Bitcoin builders can leverage this data. And we're producing great research and insights around this. We want to be the trusted source for this wider Bitcoin economy data conversation.
Amazing. It's sorely needed. There are a number of interesting projects coming forward. So I think you're just, as would be expected with your sort of depth of knowledge in the Bitcoin ecosystem, wonderful timing. I'm really excited to see some of the stacks previews that you've showed with me, and for the community to be able to sort of self-serve a lot of these insights they're out there now, but obviously more difficult to find. And Signal21 makes that beautiful, easy to see. let's dive a little deeper into the product. What kinds of insights do you expect Signal21 to be able to provide right away, and sort of how are you scaling those insights down the line as you grow?
Absolutely. So right now we have Stacks blockchain data live on Signal21. So users can get a great holistic view of Stacks activity and key protocols on Stacks like Archidico, Alex, Stacking DAO, Bitflow, and others. So users can see transaction volumes, daily active users, TVL, number of holders per tokens, as well as proof of transfer activity. For example, you can see that Stacks has just crossed 1.15 billion USD in POX, in proof of transfer stacking. So you know, what we're building is we're really focused on offering solutions also for Bitcoin builders as well as Bitcoin investors. So Bitcoin builders can leverage the protocol, leverage the API, and as well as we can produce research and intelligence and data for them. So builders can that. Some of the insights that investors can get, we'll soon be publishing some first Stacks research in the coming weeks. So really excited to share that as well.
Yeah, I feel privileged that I've got sort of the preview of some of those things. I know the community is going to love it, sort of building upon what we've done with Masari in the past, and really taking a Bitcoin first approach is pretty exciting. Let me go back just to a kind of a previous thought. Why do why now for Signal21? Like what is it about the sort of current Bitcoin ecosystem that was like, you know what, of all the exciting things I'm working on here at Gossamer, this is the time I need to do this now? What was that signal for you?
Absolutely. And so, you know, ever since ordinals burst onto the scene a year ago, we've all seen an explosion in Bitcoin building. It's been incredible. And, you know, this is what, you know, Gossamer in our early thesis, we were always anticipating seeing. What we didn't fully appreciate was how much building and how much activity would happen across Bitcoin layers. And it had become increasingly difficult to get good, reliable data on activity on the Bitcoin L1, L2, and at the Bitcoin dApps and projects. And so from an investor standpoint, we were having this challenge, and we knew that others were as well. Additionally, we see the success of the Bitcoin ETF. We have traditional finance who is moving into the Bitcoin ecosystem. There's a lot of institutions that are now holding Bitcoin. Their logical next step is to figure out how they can utilize that Bitcoin, generate yield, and Signal21 can be their guide to understand that.
They are hungry for data. I've seen that firsthand, so totally agreed. Sort of on that note, I love how, you know, Gossamer's and then now Signal21 has sort of taken this ethos that you're trying to grow the pie. It's similar to what we've tried to do here at the Stacks Foundation within the Stacks community, that all of this Bitcoin builders sort of innovation, the culture, the community around it, that we can coexist. And right now is really the time to grow that pie. I was not surprised then to see that you guys intend to open this up to other investors and kind of helping them gain the insights they need and share some of the expertise that you've built up over the years as you've surveyed the Bitcoin, you know, landscape and ecosystem and done due diligence. How much of that sort of specialty knowledge that you've gained, you know, investing in this ecosystem for so many years is making its way into Signal21?
Absolutely. So, you know, from building a product, we've been able to design this with a Bitcoin first, an investment first, and a Bitcoin builder's perspective in mind. And so, you know, what we're trying to build is as you just said, growing the whole pie for the Bitcoin economy. And we use the term Bitcoin economy we think that we see a world and pretty soon where people are going to be talking about, the Bitcoin's GDP and all of the economic activity that exists within the Bitcoin ecosystem. Eventually people will want to, lend out their Bitcoin and generate yield so they can buy homes with Bitcoin or cars with Bitcoin and things. And we want to be tracking all of that economic activity and bring all of that into one incredible source that institutional investors can leverage, that individual investors can leverage, and most importantly, and near and dear to my heart, that where Bitcoin builders can leverage our data to automate their applications by using our data and creating all sorts of interesting functionalities. I think things get really interesting too as AI starts playing a major role in activating all of this economic on-chain data as well.
I think you're right on, and I'll give a quick plug to the newest working group in the Stacks ecosystem, which is the Bitcoin and AI one. So head over to the working group page if that's interesting to you. Totally agree. You can't have good AI without good data, and it'll be fascinating to understand how all that unfolds. If you don't mind, I'd love to. So here at the Stacks Foundation, we too have a huge bias toward the builders, the developers, people putting pedal to the metal. Can you maybe take us through a specific use case for how a builder might leverage Signal21 maybe today and then maybe like a year from now? I know there's some APIs and so forth. Tell us a little more.
Absolutely. So for Bitcoin builders, you can work with us in several ways. One, we can conduct and cover research on your protocol and publish that research and help get it in front of institutional investors, get it out in front of the community so everybody can see how exceptional your product is and your project is. Second, we provide our API. So builders can plug in, leverage our on-chain data to create functionality for your application. So I'm really excited to see what teams can build on top of this data once we have, as this data continues to grow and evolve. Another way that we can help out Bitcoin builders is just being that business intelligence resource for you as well, and creating these dashboards that can help you monitor and make decisions about your product and your business as it evolves over time. So those are kind of the three core ways that we're supporting Bitcoin builders right now.
I love it, and I saw in the preview too. Maybe I don't know if this is alpha or not, but there's some other projects within Stacks that you've already started to figure out indexing as well. Do you want to say more about that, or?
Absolutely. So
okay, wasn't sure. Excited to hear.
Totally. So right now, live on the site are premier projects in the Stacks ecosystem: Arcadico, Alex, Stacking DAO, Bitflow. We have dashboards for Welsh and Leo tokens right now. So all of that is live. We're adding more and more every day. The team is shipping like crazy. And we will start publishing research for Arcadico for the first part of the year in just a couple of weeks. So we're really excited to start sharing all the exciting things that are happening with Arcadico right now.
So great. No, several of those teams you named, almost all of them have been on a roll lately. So really cool that we have now a way to kind of share that with the rest of the world in a very compelling way. So love that. I know, you started with Stacks. It makes sense. That's where you've spent the most time, but I also know you care passionately about other ecosystems and layers and ways of building on Bitcoin. Are you able to share today sort of where you're going next, or what, you don't even have to say which is next, but what are some of the other ecosystems that folks can count on Signal21 to be indexing as well?
Absolutely. you can, our goal, as I was mentioning, is to really be a holistic view of all of the premier Bitcoin layers, Stacks being the first and the largest today. Um, we soon will be bringing on Rootstock. We want to bring on RGB, Liquid, um, all of the kind of key layers that are happening today, and that's really, you can go to Glassnode and some other places to get good Bitcoin L1 data, but we're really putting a special emphasis on getting that Bitcoin layers data, the Bitcoin layer 2's data and protocol level data. That's our real emphasis, and so those dApps and projects that are built on those other layers, like Sovereign, for instance, we're working hard to bring that information live to have all in one place as well.
It's going to be incredibly useful to see it all in one place. You're right. There's still quite a bit of fragmentation. So I'm personally excited to be able to visualize things in some different ways than we can today. I've got one more question for you, and then I'll give it to you in case there's anything else you want to close on. But before we sort of wrap up, I'm curious if in the course of your journey indexing the Stacks chain so far, or any of the other work you've started to do with Signal21, are there any interesting nuggets or data tidbits or insights that you think the community here today would be interested in knowing? Can you share them?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I just mentioned, uh, Stacks just crossed the threshold of 1.15 billion in USD in POX, so in proof of transfer stackers. It's an incredible number. Um, but additionally, it was just announced, through Stacks Q4 2023 reports that Stacks closed out the year at 60 million in TVL across DeFi protocols. It's just incredible. However, over the last 2 months, in January and February here today, that sits around 114 million. So it's nearly doubled just in the first 2 months of this year, showing how much activity is happening on Stacks, and how much liquidity is coming into the ecosystem and to the greater Bitcoin ecosystem. So, there is a treasure trove of data and research that is live, real time, that you can see. We will be publishing monthly reports on Stacks activity, so month over month growth and activity. That is going to be very exciting to share, and I'm really excited for people to have it in real time, and so immediate. I think it's going to be very, very needed and really useful for the community.
Yeah, we're very excited to be one of, if not the first customer for Signal21 and your reporting infrastructure and the data dashboards and all that. So thanks for letting us be part of the journey from so early on.
Thank you to the Stacks Foundation, the Stacks team, and everybody for the support. And we're incredibly excited for this next year for Stacks and for Bitcoin building in general.
Yeah. Nakamoto's just about here to pour gasoline all over that Bitcoin DeFi TVL fire you just went over. So it'll be fun.
Amazing. It's going to be amazing. 5-second transactions are a game changer for volumes that we're going to see. I'm glad we have the data points between now and after because it's going to be fun to compare.
Totally agree. All right, I'll turn it over to you one last time, just if you have any final thoughts, and then I'd love to know, where can people go to find out more? How should they get in touch? Yada, yada.
Thank you so much, Mitchell. So we are at signal21.io, and at Signal21BTC on X. Please give us a follow. We'll be posting lots of great data, research, analysis, insights all the time to help builders as well as Bitcoin investors. So thank you so much, everybody.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Kyle, we'll turn it back over to you. Jonathan, thanks for the time, and thanks for all of you in the audience. Talk to you soon.